we have 1 over the square root of 2 plus 5 times the square root of 2. Okay, the goal here is to get a over b, and b can't be can I say this? Can't be an irrational number, the square root of b. Okay, irrational number. Right, we don't want that in the denominator. I guess I should say we rationalize the denominator, they say. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to need a common denominator. So let's just go ahead and rewrite this so we don't mess up our original. So since we have a square root of 2 down here in the denominator, we're going to write a square root of 2, but we must also put square root of 2 up here in the numerator. Now we have common denominator. We can go ahead and add the numerators. 1 plus 5 times the square root of 2 times the square root of 2, and it's all over the square root of 2. But of course we wouldn't leave it like that. Now you notice over here we have the square root of 2 times the square root of 2. This can be rewritten as 1 plus 5. We can bring all that inside, and 2 times 2 is just 2 squared. Okay, we can just write it like that. It's all over the square root of 2. However, the square root of 2 squared is just 2. So this just becomes 1 plus 5 times 2 over the square root of 2. Once again, so 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11, over the square root of 2. But what did I say? We can't have, okay, we don't want to have a radical in the denominator, so what you do is you multiply the bottom by the square root of 2 and the top by the square root of 2. Now we're left with 11 times the square root of 2 over, once again, this is 2 times 2. We can bring both those together, 2 times 2, but 2 times 2 is just 2 squared. Right, remember 2 squared, and if we looked at it, wrote an exponential form, this would be written to the half. But we multiply the exponents. 2 times a half is 1, so we're just left with 2. Okay. 11 times the square root of 2 over 2. Okay, let's look at another one. This one's not so easy. I'd say this one's a little bit more difficult, and it's because we got to factor a number. 3 roots of 108. Okay, so we're going to do this just like we did the previous problem, except I'm going to look at this over here. 108. 108 can be written, should have left some room, didn't leave any room. Let's cut that out of there and start over. Okay, 108. Breaking that up, we know that 2 goes into 108, and so we know that 2 times 54 is 108. So this is kind of how I look at it. 54 can be written as what, 6 times 9? Okay, so we'll just continue to breaking this thing down. So this is 2 times 2 times 3, 6, and then 9 can be written as 3 squared. 3 squared. So, let me think about this for a second. Alright, because this is a 3 here, let's do this. So let's see, 2 squared. And hold on. Oh yeah, 3 cubed. So 2 squared times 3 cubed. I think this is what we're going to use right here. Yeah. That's what we're going to use. Alright, so let's go ahead and rewrite over here. So we have 1 over, I'm going to go ahead now and convert it over to exponential form, minus, now this 108, I'm going to write 2 squared times 3 cubed. Okay, it's all raised to the 1/3. Right? Now I'm going to take this, so we have common denominator. You know what? Let's just use a different color. 2 to the 3rd. What I do down here, I got to do up here in the numerator also. All right. Now, looking here, we have a 3 to the 3rd, and it's, so if we multiply those two together, we're going to end up with, let's see, we'll end up with just 3. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that out. 1 minus 3. I have 2 squared raised to the 3rd times 2 raised to the 3rd. So we can actually join these two together. Remember, it's all over 2 to the 3rd. All right. I wrote a half. I meant to write a 1/3 there. So actually it's 2 squared times 2, and it's all, we can put that all under, join them together, raised to the 3rd. See that? But this is just 2 to the 3rd. Okay, we add their exponents. And of course, what does this all reduce down to? 2. Just reduces down to 2, right? All reduces down to 2. So I'm going to rewrite this. 1 minus 3. It's our 3 here, and we said that all reduced down to 2. It's all over 2 to the 3rd. We're getting there eventually. 3 times 2 is 6, so 1 minus 6 is -5. Over 2 to the 3rd. Okay. But remember, we're going to want to do, let's see, we'll use green again. We're going to multiply the bottom by 2 to the 2/3. And what we do at the bottom, we got to do at the top. All right. We add their exponents, so 1/3 plus 2/3 is 1. Is 1. So what are we left with? -5 times 2 to the 2/3 over 2. Okay. Of course, we yeah, looking at this here. let's see. So writing this back in radical form, we have negative. Tell you what, let's move this over a little bit. We have negative 5 times 3 roots of 2 squared, which is 4, over 2. Whew. Tell you what, that was a long one there. We started right there. Yeah, so sometimes the trick is you got to factor this thing down, which I did right here. That could be kind of tricky. All right. Okay, I think that ends this problem. See you in the next one.